Kani kadega Batesi TV, bat pidang pet yaki kubor baman kasni, balawan rasha pi da ka Orange Nissan, lom so po niya Fabricate Shillong, ringkat bat ka BDW International School Nongmansong, Langkarding Shillong. Admissions open now.
Kajing yalang jongga kunhun menteri ke Sarkar Jilla Meghalaya kabala longha ka khat artarik ulber arjar arpo kala menjuri yaki kendon thamai jongga Indian Stamp Act khat praspa khandai bahkan kedosha yaki dor gimur na kabenta kajing register yaki mining lease. Menteri wedai pay yakatna taxation u James K Sangma hagajing ekran bat kilat pathai kubor ula ong babon na ki application na kabenta ki mining lease ha Meghalaya ki dei bon sen ki nongti ne nongklong marpo khando ki baret ki ba omla ban kotbor ya ka dor ba he jong ki stamp ula ong ba khnang ban punsuk ya ka benta ban le ya ka kam khai pateng ban wara ka jingrenti ka jingkot bor ban thet ki stamp duty na ka benta ka mining lease ha ka Jilla Meghalaya la tarwa ban munjuri ya ki kendon thamai ka Indian Stamp Act khat praspa khandai phundai ban ailat ban don ki kendon ki ba don kam ki ba yadei bar ka jing register ya ka kamti ne khlong marpo khando ha ka Indian Stamp Act khat praspa khandai phundai.
Mining leases are now mandatorily required to be executed and registered by a competent registering authority within the specified period as per provisions of various mining laws, namely the Mineral Concessions Rules 1960, the Minerals Other Than Atomic and Hydrocarbons Energy Minerals 2016, and the Meghalaya Minor Mineral Concession Rules 2018, which govern both the grant of both major and minor minerals. So the Indian Stamp Act 1899 does not have specific rates notified for registration of mining leases. Therefore, the proposal was that with the notification of the Meghalaya Minor Minerals Rules 2018 in particular, there has been a surge of applications from miners for grant of mining leases for minor minerals, namely limestone, shale, quartz, quartzite, slate, etc., and for which each mining lease has to be executed and registered as per provisions of the aforesaid rules. So, most of the applicants are of small-time miners who can ill afford the high rates of stamp duty, and in fact the high rates render their projects unviable, leading to a high propensity for evasion of obtaining licenses and payment of mandatory duties. So to facilitate the ease of doing business and to bring in uniformity and affordability of stamp duty on mining leases in the state of Meghalaya, it was proposed to amend the Indian Stamp Act 1899 to provide for specific provisions relating to registration of mining leases by insertion of new entry D after entry C for Article 35 of Schedule 1 lease of the Indian Stamp Act 1899. This was discussed. The views of the Law Department and Finance Department and the Mining and Geology Department were placed, and after discussion this was accepted by the Cabinet. The next agenda which was taken up was for the amendment of the Meghalaya Passengers and Goods Taxation Act 1972. So as you all know, this was enforced in the state of Meghalaya in order to levy tax on passenger and goods carried by road or on inland waterways. The act is implemented by the Taxation Department. So under this act, the owners of the motor vehicles are liable to pay tax at the prescribed rate on the fare in respect of passengers and goods carried by taxable vehicles. So what used to happen is that the DTO would issue the registration of vehicles, as we all know, under the Motor Vehicles Act 1988. Most commercial vehicles were applied commercially on obtaining the permit from the DTO or the State Transport Authority as applicable, and the registration from the former. However, the tax due under the Meghalaya Passenger and Goods Taxation Act was paid only when the permit was required to be renewed and on the strength of the NOC from the Superintendent of Taxes after such payment. So it was found that there were certain revenue leakages in this respect because there were some commercial vehicles which were applying their vehicles without renewing the permit, thus without paying the MPGT taxes. So, therefore, to plug this revenue leakage, it was brought to the Cabinet's consideration that certain decisions be taken to authorize the Transport Department to collect the tax under the MPGT Act in order to improve revenue collection. So, these decisions were placed before the Cabinet, and I'll just tell you. So there were three amendments which were proposed. So I'll just read this out, it's quite lengthy. So the proposal is for collection of the tax under MPGT Act by the DTO, but other proceedings such as registration, composition, penalty, refunds will still remain with the taxing authorities. Seeing that the existing penalty and compounding provisions for failure to pay or for late payment of tax is impractical as it levies the same limit of amount of penalty or composition money without taking the duration of the default into account. So it was felt there was a need to levy interest on all payments of the tax which is absent in the existing provisions. So this would act as a deterrent to habitual late payments. So it was proposed to amend the existing section 9 of the Act by the insertion of the new section 9A. Would you like me to read out 9A? It's okay? It's not required? Okay. Is pertaining to the interest on late payment of tax, right? So if any owner of a taxable vehicle does not pay the full amount of tax payable by him under this Act by the 15th day on which it falls due, simple interest at the rate of 18 per centum per annum shall be payable by him on the amount by which the tax paid, if any, by the aforesaid due date falls short of the tax applicable. And 2. The interest payable under the subsection 1 of the owner by the owner of a taxable vehicle who has opted for payment of the tax under proviso to section 4 shall be determined by the authority empowered to collect the tax as notified by the government. And 3. The interest payable under the subsection 1 by the owner of a taxable vehicle who has not opted for payment of the tax under proviso to section 4 shall be determined by the taxing authority under the Act. And number 4. No interest is payable on tax deducted at source under subsection 1 of section 4A. That was the first insertion of 9A. Then the amendment of section 22 is the second agenda which was brought of sub-agenda. In the Principal Act in section 22 of the existing clause F, the following shall be substituted. That is, contravenes any other provision of this Act or the rules made thereunder shall be liable on conviction to a fine of not less than 25,000 rupees, which may extend to 1 lakh rupees, and when the offence is a continuing one, on subsequent conviction to a fine not less than 500 rupees, which may extend to 1,000 rupees for each day of the continuance of the offence, in addition to the tax and interest payable. So what was earlier happening was earlier the existing penalties under subsection 20 under section 22 was that it prescribed as fine which may extend to 1,000 rupees, or when the offence is a continuing one, on subsequent conviction to a fine not exceeding 25 rupees daily, which was found not to be effective any longer, right? And then the last amendment was substitution of subsection 1 of section 23, which was the prescribed authority may at any time accept from any person who has committed an offence falling under clause B, C, D, E and F of section 22 by way of composition of offence a fixed sum of money of 10,000 rupees in addition to the tax and interest payable. This is a clause, a subsection to be inserted. Then another insertion of proviso to Rule 37 was also mentioned here, in which the proviso reads, provided that the government may by notification prescribe other modes of application for registration, including deemed suo motu application on availability of required particulars in defined databases, which is basically that right now the RTO, the Transport Authority, the DTO and the Transport Authority has a process by which there is a software in which people who want to register the vehicles can go on Vahan and fill in the particular details and then register the vehicles. So now, in collaboration with the NIC, whose help has been sought, the process of payment of the taxes on the MPGT will also be facilitated through Vahan. So that was the proviso that was inserted in Rule 37.